Hey there. Ready to dive into something we often take for granted but has a huge impact on us?
Mm.
Get ready, because today's deep dive is all about the power of sound,
Okay.
especially nature's symphony,
Right.
and how it affects your brain and well-being.
It's fascinating how we often just relegate sound to just something we hear,
Right.
like a passive experience.
Yeah.
But it's far more dynamic.
Uh,
It's a full-on sensory experience that impacts us on physiological, emotional, and even cognitive levels.
when I started digging into the research for this deep dive, I was blown away by how much our brains are wired to respond to sound
Yeah.
in ways that we're only beginning to understand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's incredible when you think about it. When
Yeah.
you hear a sound, those vibrations are converted into electrical signals that journey to different areas of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about your ears.
Right.
These signals activate areas responsible for processing emotions,
Mm-hmm.
memories, and even your body's stress response.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. One of the sources mentioned the amygdala. Now, that rings a bell from way back in my psych classes, but refresh my memory.
Mhm.
What's the connection between the amygdala and sound?
Think of the amygdala as the brain's emotional control center.
Okay.
It plays a critical role in how we react to things, especially fear and pleasure.
Right.
And guess what?
What?
Research has shown that the amygdala is incredibly sensitive to sound.
Hmm.
This explains why specific sounds can trigger strong feelings or bring back vivid memories in a snap.
Oh, absolutely. Like that song that instantly transports you back to a specific summer, or the
Yes.
opposite, those nails on a chalkboard sounds that make everyone cringe.
Yes.
It's like an instant visceral reaction.
Precisely. And this is where the magic of nature's sounds comes in.
Okay.
Imagine the gentle pitter-patter of rain or the rhythmic crash of waves on the shore.
Right.
It's not just that these sounds are pleasant.
Yeah?
Our brains are hardwired to respond to them in ways that encourage relaxation and reduce stress.
Okay, so we all know that nature sounds are calming, but I have to ask, is there actual scientific evidence to back this up?
Yeah.
Or is it more of a different strokes for different folks kind of thing?
There's real science behind it,
Okay.
which is what I find so compelling.
Yeah.
One of the sources delved into the concept of sound frequency measured in hertz. It turns out that many natural sounds like waves, wind, and even birdsong often fall within specific frequency ranges. And guess what?
What's that?
Our bodies are primed to respond to these frequencies in remarkable ways.
So it's not just a matter of these sounds being nice, there's something about their actual composition that our bodies are tuned into.
That's exactly it.
Wow.
For instance, low-frequency sounds like those soothing ocean waves we talked about have been shown to trigger a relaxation response.
Uh-huh.
They activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is all about rest and recovery.
Ah, so it's not the opposite of the fight or flight response.
You got it.
Yeah.
Think of it as hitting the chill button for your system.
Right.
In fact, studies have linked listening to these low-frequency nature sounds to a measurable decrease in cortisol, that pesky stress hormone we all know too well.
You know, it's funny. People always say they feel more relaxed by the ocean, and I always thought it was just the vacation vibes, but it's wild to think that there's actual science happening in their bodies.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just the low frequencies. Did you know that natural sounds are full of harmonics?
Hmm.
Unlike a single tone, which can feel a bit artificial, natural sounds have this beautiful richness and complexity that creates a truly immersive and ultimately more healing experience.
So it's almost as if our ears and brains crave that complexity and nature delivers in spades.
Well said. And here's where things get extra interesting. There's a theory that our bodies have their own resonant frequencies, that different organs and systems actually vibrate at their own natural rhythms.
Wait a minute. I think I remember reading about this. Isn't our heartbeat often described as being around 1 hertz?
Yes.
Which also happens to be incredibly close to the frequency of ocean waves.
You're right on track. That's precisely it. And that's why many people believe that listening to natural sounds can actually promote a sense of harmony and balance within our bodies. It's like we're literally syncing up with the frequencies of the natural world.
This is blowing my mind. It's like there's this whole hidden world of sound working its magic even when we're not aware of it.
It is pretty amazing. And that leads us to a really important question. How can we use this knowledge to our advantage?
Right.
It's one thing to understand the science, but how can we actually bring nature's symphony into our lives in a practical way to enhance our well-being?
Now that's what I want to know. I'm all for swapping out stress for some soothing soundscapes. What are some practical tips people can start implementing right away?
Well, one of the simplest yet most effective ways is to create your own personal calming soundscape at home. And here's the best part. You don't need to be living on a beach to reap the benefits.
That's good news because an oceanfront address isn't exactly in everyone's budget, although a beach-themed deep dive does sound pretty amazing right now.
Ah, I hear you. But seriously, even incorporating something as simple as a sound machine or using apps that play nature sounds can make a world of difference. There are so many fantastic apps out there that are specifically designed for relaxation and sleep.
And I bet our listeners, especially those who love those nitty-gritty details, would love to know which apps we'd recommend, right?
Absolutely. For those who want to start exploring, some really popular options include Calm Headspace and Insight Timer. These apps offer a diverse range of nature sounds, from lush rainforests to tranquil streams. You can even find guided meditations that are specifically designed to be experienced with nature sounds.
Oh, I've tried those guided meditations with nature sounds, and they're incredible. It's like the sounds create this quiet space that helps quiet the mental chatter and actually allows me to sink into the meditation.
That's precisely the idea. They set the mood cut through the mental clutter, and some people even find it easier to transition back to regular life after meditating with those soothing natural sounds.
It's like a gentle bridge back to reality. Now, for those who might want to bring nature inside in a more tangible way, what are your thoughts?
Even small additions like a tabletop water fountain in your living space can make a surprising difference. The gentle sound of flowing water can be incredibly calming. If you have a bit more space, you could even consider a small indoor water feature. And never underestimate the power of simply opening your windows strategically to let the sounds of nature flow in.
I love that. Bringing the outdoors in, it's like a mini escape without having to leave your home.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And speaking of creating that calming environment, one of the sources I came across recommended setting up a dedicated relaxation corner in your home.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be anything fancy, just a comfy chair, some soft lighting, maybe a few plants, and of course your sound machine or nature sound recordings.
Oh, I'm already picturing it. A cozy nook with the sounds of a peaceful forest playing softly in the background. Sign me up.
Right. It's about creating a sanctuary, a space dedicated to unwinding and recharging. And the best part is that you don't need a lot of space or money to make it happen. It's about being intentional with your environment and incorporating sound strategically to create that peaceful and relaxing atmosphere.
I'm loving all of these practical tips. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I want to circle back to meditation.
Okay?
We touched on it earlier, but one of the sources really emphasized how natural sounds can be so much more than just pleasant background noise during meditation.
They absolutely are. Think about it when you're trying to meditate. One of the biggest hurdles is often just quieting the mind.
Right.
Natural sounds can actually help draw your attention away from those racing thoughts and gently guide you back to the present moment.
So instead of getting frustrated with myself for thinking about my never-ending to-do list, I can focus on the sound of the waves crashing, and that helps ground me in the present.
Exactly. Those sounds become an anchor for your awareness. And as you practice mindful listening, paying attention to all the subtle nuances of the sounds, you're essentially strengthening your ability to focus and be present in other aspects of your life as well.
It's like a mental workout for mindfulness. I'm into it. We've talked a lot about relaxation and stress reduction, but one thing that really piqued my interest was the mention of sound healing. Is that just a fancy way of describing what we've been discussing, or is there more to it?
That's a great question. It's definitely connected to what we've been exploring, but sound healing often refers to more structured approaches that use sound intentionally for therapeutic purposes.
Okay, color me intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, to start, it's important to realize that using sound for healing has ancient roots. Cultures around the world have been incorporating sound into rituals and practices for centuries, believing in its power to heal and enhance well-being.
Wow, I had no idea it went back that far. It's amazing how much ancient wisdom we're rediscovering these days.
It really is. From shamanic drumming to the use of singing bowls in traditional medicine, the idea that sound can influence our well-being is deeply woven into human history.
So how does that ancient wisdom translate to what we know as sound healing today? What are some examples?
One example that's been gaining popularity is sound baths. Have you ever experienced a sound bath?
I've heard of them, but I've never actually had the chance to try one. What's it like?
Imagine this. You're lying down in a dimly lit, comfortable space, and you're surrounded by instruments like singing bowls, gongs, and chimes. As the practitioner plays these instruments, they create these beautiful resonating sounds and vibrations that wash over you.
It sounds incredibly relaxing and immersive.
It truly is. The idea is that these sound vibrations can penetrate deep into your body, releasing tension, encouraging relaxation, and even clearing energy blockages. It's like a sonic massage for your mind, body, and spirit. And of course, natural sounds are often incorporated into sound baths to make the experience even more calming and immersive.
Okay, you've sold me. I need to add experience a sound bath to my to-do list. Are there other types of sound healing that people can explore?
Absolutely. Guided meditations that incorporate specific sounds and frequencies are another popular choice. And then there's the simple yet powerful practice of mindful listening in nature, which we already know has a ton of benefits.
It's true, sometimes the simplest things are the most powerful.
Exactly. Even just taking a walk in nature and really tuning in to the sounds around you, the birds, the wind, the rustling leaves, can be incredibly therapeutic. It's about becoming aware of that symphony of nature that's always playing, even when we're caught up in our busy lives.
I love that nature symphony. It's like we carry these amazing healing sounds within us all along, and we're just now rediscovering their power.
That's such a beautiful way to put it. And it highlights that this isn't just a passing trend, it's a reawakening to something ancient and innate within us.
I'm definitely feeling ready to tune in even deeper. We've talked about the science of sound and some of the ways it can benefit us, but I'm curious to get more specific. Let's break down the unique effects of some different natural sounds. It's like a soundscape sampler platter.
I like it. A sonic tasting menu.
Yeah.
We can't talk about nature's symphony without shining a light on water sounds. I mean, they're classics for a reason.
Right. Ocean waves, rainfall, babbling brooks, they're like the ultimate chill out tracks. Let's start with the ocean. We talked about how those low frequencies can reduce stress, but what else is going on there?
Think about the qualities we often associate with the ocean. Vastness, power, depth. There's a reason why being by the ocean is so calming and even awe-inspiring. Scientifically, the low rolling frequencies of ocean waves have a profound impact on our brainwave activity, encouraging our brains to shift into a more relaxed state.
So it's like the ocean has this incredible ability to slow everything down, even our brainwaves.
Exactly. And it's not just about relaxation. Some research has even linked listening to ocean waves to increase creativity and feelings of peace and contentment. And remember how we talked about the resonant frequency of our heartbeat being similar to that of ocean waves? It's incredible how those sounds can feel so inherently calming. They literally resonate with us on a physical level.
Okay, now you're just trying to tempt me to book a last-minute beach vacation.
Wouldn't that be nice? But in the meantime, we can always recreate those soothing soundscapes at home. Now let's move on to another water sound superstar, rainfall. What are your thoughts on why rain is so universally soothing?
There's just something so incredibly cozy about the sound of rain, especially when you're curled up inside with a good book. It's like this instant wave of safety and security washes over you, and those gentle pitter-patter rhythms are just so easy on the ears.
You're spot on. The rhythmic nature of rainfall actually has a similar effect on our brains as ocean waves, inducing a state of relaxation and calm. But rain also has this incredible ability to mask other sounds, creating a sense of stillness and solitude that can be incredibly restorative.
It's like a sonic blanket that muffles the chaos of the outside world. No wonder people find it so easy to fall asleep to the sound of rain. Speaking of calming sounds, we can't forget about birdsong. There's just something inherently cheerful and uplifting about it.
Birdsong is fascinating because it's not just about relaxation. Did you know it's also been linked to mood elevation and even cognitive boosts?
Wait, really? Bird singing can make you smarter?
Well, maybe not smarter in the traditional sense, but studies have shown that listening to birdsong can actually improve focus, attention, and even memory. It's thought that the complex melodies and patterns in birdsong stimulate different parts of the brain, giving our cognitive functions a little boost. Plus, those cheerful tunes can increase our levels of serotonin and dopamine, those feel-good chemicals our brains just love.
So it's like a natural mood booster and brain workout all in one. Now I understand why I love waking up to the sound of birds chirping. It's like my brain is getting a head start on the day. Okay, we've covered water and birdsong, but we can't forget about the wind. It's such a powerful force of nature, and its sounds can be both calming and awe-inspiring.
Absolutely. Wind is interesting because unlike the consistent rhythm of waves or rain, it's always changing. It can be a gentle breeze rustling through leaves one minute and a powerful gust howling through a canyon the next. And those ever-shifting sounds and frequencies can deeply impact our emotional state.
It's like the wind mirrors our own ever-changing emotions and experiences.
Precisely. The gentle rustling of leaves can be so calming and relaxing, inviting us to slow down and be present. But those more intense wind, Sounds like the howl of a storm can also be incredibly cathartic. Think about how good it can feel to just let out a good yell sometimes.
It's true. Sometimes you just need to release that pent-up energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The wind in all its forms can provide a sonic outlet for those emotions. And it's interesting to note that wind is often associated with change and transition both in nature and in our own lives. It can symbolize new beginnings, letting go of the old, and embracing the unknown.
I'm noticing a theme here. Each of these sounds, water, bird song, wind, they each offer something unique, and yet they all tap into this deep connection we have to the natural world and its audacity to soothe, heal, and inspire us.
Yeah, it's like our very senses are hardwired to recognize these sounds as sources of peace, comfort, and even a sense of awe.
Right.
A powerful reminder that we're part of something so much greater than ourselves.
Yeah.
And in today's world, where technology seems to permeate every aspect of our lives,
Yeah.
that connection to nature feels more vital than ever.
Hmm.
But speaking of technology, one of the sources I came across talked about how it's actually being used to enhance our experience of nature's sounds. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, technology can be a double-edged sword.
But in this case, it's being harnessed in some pretty amazing ways to bring the benefits of nature sounds to more people.
Like, give me some examples.
Well, for starters, think about the incredible strides we've made in sound recording and reproduction.
Right.
We have access to such high-quality recordings of nature sounds now,
Yeah.
and those recordings are more accessible than ever thanks to streaming services and apps.
It's true. I can listen to the sounds of the Amazon rainforest while I'm commuting to work in the middle of the city.
Right.
That would have been unimaginable just a few decades ago.
Exactly. And it's evolving beyond just recordings.
Okay.
Virtual reality, VR
Mhm.
technology, is being used to create these incredibly immersive nature experiences that combine realistic visuals with spatial audio.
Wow.
Imagine putting on a VR headset and feeling like you're actually walking through a redwood forest,
Right.
surrounded by the sights and sounds of nature.
Wow. That would be incredible. Sign me up for the virtual rainforest spa day.
Right. The possibilities are pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And then there's the growing field of ecotherapy, which we
Yeah.
touched on earlier.
Where sound plays such a crucial role. It's not just about physically being in nature.
Right.
It's about consciously tuning in to all of your senses, especially sound,
Yeah,
to deeply experience the healing power of the natural world.
exactly. It's about recognizing that we are a part of nature, not separate from it,
Right.
and that our senses are our most powerful tools for connecting with its healing power.
This entire deep dive has been such a powerful reminder that sometimes the simplest things in life are the most potent.
Hmm.
We don't need fancy gadgets or complicated solutions. We just need to tune in to the symphony of nature that's always playing around us.
I couldn't agree more. And the best part is that these sounds are readily available to everyone.
Right.
Whether you live in a bustling city or a quiet countryside, there are always opportunities to tap into the healing power of nature's sounds.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's one final thought you'd like to leave with our listener today? What's the one thing you hope they take away from our exploration of nature's sounds?
If there's just one thing I hope our listener remembers, it's that they already have the most powerful tool for experiencing these benefits, their own awareness.
Mm.
Paying attention to the sounds around you, really listening with intention, can be profoundly transformative.
Right.
It can shift your mood, calm your mind, and connect you to something much larger than yourself. So I encourage you, dear listener, to make time for mindful listening, to explore the world of sound healing, and to rediscover the incredible impact that nature's symphony can have on your life.
What a beautiful thought to end on. So to our listener, consider this your invitation to turn down the noise, tune into nature's symphony, and experience the incredible healing power of sound.